We've got some breaking news here as Michael Soroka is headed to the 15-day IL with what the Nationals are calling a bicep injury. We'll talk about that and much more after this.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And yes, we have already recorded a show today, but I want to get a quick reaction out for one of the key acquisitions from this offseason for the Washington Nationals, and that was Michael Soroka. We just got word that he has been placed on the 15-day injured list retroactive to April 1st with a right arm bicep strain. And this is a pretty big killer for the Washington Nationals at this moment in time. I would like to say that Michael Soroka, this is a minor injury at this point, and I think that that's likely what it will end up being. I do think that with his injury history in mind, though, the Nationals are going to have to be cautious with this, because I think we all know that Michael Soroka, when he was at his best, was an all-star caliber player. Dating back to 2018, though, he has had a lot of injuries, most notably back in 2020 when he tore his right Achilles tendon in August, and he missed the rest of the season. He then underwent surgery to repair his Achilles tendon, re-injured it again in 2021, and costed him the rest of 2021 as well. And then Soroka also in 2023 was shut down with forearm inflammation after experiencing numbness in his fingers. The surgery was not required. And now, after making his first start with the Washington Nationals, he was pulled a little bit earlier on in the start on Monday with what was called a bicep cramp. So I would like to say that this is something that feels a little precautionary at this point. I think you have to take into account his injury history when talking about this injury here, because I think a bicep cramp is likely what happened. But even then, all spring training long, Soroka was healthy. But as he got deeper into the game on Monday, I think we all kind of saw in that sixth inning when, as soon as he got pulled, I believe it was 83 pitches in. And Michael Soroka, you all saw him kind of clench his fist, and we all thought the worst right away. But now we know, a few days later, he is headed to the 15-day IL. He should be back in about a few weeks, barring any setbacks at this point. But I would like to think that the Nationals will get him back on track. And also, in the long run, maybe not be as bad as what you think here. Michael Soroka has pitched a very limited amount of games since coming back from injury last year. Soroka is going to have to space out some starts, and the Nationals understand that. So I think that this could be a blessing in disguise. Not the fact that he's getting hurt. I do think that the Nationals are taking a little bit of caution here because they should. Dating back to, again, 2018, we've already talked about his injury history. You're all aware of it at this point. But with where the Nationals are today, they have called up Jackson Rutledge. He is going to be the guy to fill in for Michael Soroka. Now, he's going to take that roster spot, but will he start every 5 days? In my opinion, it's got to be Brad Lord. Brad Lord will likely make that start, I believe, this coming Sunday against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, if we really kind of get it, actually, I believe it could be on tomorrow's game. Actually, no, I take that back. Mitchell Parker is going to be pitching on Saturday, and then it will be Michael Soroka's ball game. First start at, or not Michael Soroka, geez, it should be Brad Lord's idea to start there. But David Martinez will be speaking to the media in just a little bit, I assume, here. But this is just unfortunate news, because I do think the Nationals brass and a lot of people within the organization, they have bought in on a Michael Soroka bounce back. There was really only one team out there that thought that Soroka would be a starting pitcher yet again, and it was the Washington Nationals. They have given him this opportunity to start every 5 days. They guaranteed him a spot in the rotation. And as we sit here today, I think a lot of people still recognize him to be a top pitcher and someone who could fill the role of being a top guy for this organization moving forward for the rest of the season. But now you have this setback here, and it's just really unfortunate. Because again, Soroka did not look bad in his first start. Yes, he gave up 4 earned runs. He gave up that long home run early on in that game, also against the Blue Jays. But that first inning was brilliant. And I think we all can kind of look past the hard times because Soroka last year was filthy out of the bullpen. And Mike Rizzo, whether you like him or not, he has always kind of had an eye for starting pitching. He believed in Michael Soroka, giving him a pretty hefty contract for someone who has not been a successful starter since really 2019. So seeing Michael Soroka head to the IL now, it's just unfortunate. He's an easy guy to root for. And again, you all saw the potential. While it wasn't like the best start ever, and it was probably one of the worst starts as far as the Nationals guys from the 6 starts that you've had so far, he still looked good, considering that he has not been an everyday starter since 2019, really. So this is just a really unfortunate injury. Now, what does this mean? How do you kind of realign this Nationals team at this point? Well, DJ Hers, he's on the 60-day IL. He would have been the guy to be called up right away. Even then, we all kind of know where the situation lies in today. But now you've got Jackson Rutledge. And the Nationals have made it pretty clear that he is a bullpen piece now. So it's going to be Brad Lord time. Let's talk about Brad Lord real quick. Because again, for some people who don't know Brad Lord, he has kind of been your long reliever over the course of this season. You've seen him a handful of times now. He looked really good in his last start. But let's talk about this past season that he had with the Washington Nationals. Flew from high A all the way up to AAA and was successful at each and every single level. In 25 starts this past year, he had a 2.43 ERA in 2024. And in low A, or in high A rather, in Wilmington, in his 12 starts there, he had 70 and 2/3 innings pitched, 75 strikeouts, had a 1.03 whip on the year as well. Struck out 9.5 batters per 9 innings, walked about 3. I would certainly expect him at this point in time to be in line to start this weekend and make his really starting debut as a Washington National. And that is someone that I think you can be excited about. The Washington Nationals moving forward with Soroka, I would be surprised to see him come back in just maybe a few weeks. We don't know the extent of the injury at this point in time, but I do expect the Nationals to take their time with this. Soroka has had arm injuries in the past on top of some Achilles problems as well. Brad Lord, though, you're going to finally be able to get a look at him. This is kind of his opportunity to take a spot in the starting rotation and run with it. And it's unfortunate that it comes with an injury of Michael Soroka. But you would just have to think at this point that the Nationals, they want to look at Brad Lord and they're going to try to see what he can do with this team moving forward because he does have talent and he does have potential to be a starting caliber guy for this team. It's just, can he do it over 5-6 innings at a time? Because they moved him into the bullpen. He was going to be their long reliever. But I also think this was the Nationals' plan all along. Is as soon as someone gets hurt, which it happens over the course of a season, you're going to have Brad Lord come in. He's going to take some starts away from him and see what he can do. Because he's got talent. It's just a matter of putting. So, do you think it's going to be Brad Lord time? Let me know. Tweet at me at RyanClary11. Let us know over at the show page at LO_Nationals. And if you haven't already, check us out over on YouTube. The video version of this podcast, you can check that out over on YouTube. And again, search up Locked On Nationals wherever you get your podcasts, where we are free and available, again, wherever you get your podcast. So let me know what you think about the injury here. Let me know what you think about potentially Brad Lord starting this weekend for the Washington Nationals in a pretty big series against the Arizona Diamondbacks, in which the Nationals have to win. So no pressure to Brad Lord or whoever it could be starting this weekend. your eyes will be peeled on you. So we'll talk about that and much more as the week goes on. But until then, have a good one. Go Nats.